Hey everyone, this is Keith Scott from out in Sydney, Australia. I'm one of the voices of Bullwinkle J. Moose. It's time to watch Relentless and Unstoppable. And so give it up for your main hosts, Douglas Kenny and Andy McPhee.
Hey everybody, this is Doug Kenny and welcome to Relentless and Unstoppable. We have another amazing guest coming on the channel today, so please hit like and subscribe. And after this episode, please stay tuned to the RNU channel for more amazing guests. Let's get this on!
Hey everybody, how you doing? Just a quick little share of why I started Relentless and Unstoppable. It was for one very simple reason, because of Doug Kenny. Nothing to do with me at all, zero. I was just coaching Doug, and he took on the coaching and mentoring, and he made all the changes. He took all the suggestions from his parents as well as my coaching, but it was all about Doug, his breakthrough and his weight loss, his willingness to accept that he is dealing with high functioning autism and other issues, but he's never quit, he's never given up. So we did one interview with him to share his story, and then we decided to start interviewing other people, and Doug has now taken over the whole channel. And he does all the interviews, he runs everything. He's just an amazing young man. So RNU was born from simply what an amazing young man Doug is, and his story needed to be shared.
Yeah, and didn't something really ironic happen that lead to you being at Five Nights at Freddy's?
Something really ironic. Well, one ironic thing was you were talking about Andy McPhee. Andy McPhee is the reason why I got the movie Sven. Like I said, he was in the movie with me. He's the one that called me when I was in Louisiana. I had a nice apartment at the time and everything. And I was like, give it up just to do this movie with him. And what's super, super ironic about Five Nights at Freddy's is that I was dating someone and they were very mean, very, very cruel, and they thought it would be funny to make fun of me and the gap I had in my teeth by saying, hey, I heard that Five Nights at Freddy's is making a movie. Maybe they can pick you to be the Cupcake. You know, fast forward, we broke up. I move on. In my head, I told myself, I hope I get in that movie, and I hope that they eat their words. Just hoping it. You know, fast forward later on, turned out that the casting director, the locals casting director that put me in Five Nights at Freddy's, she'd been auditioning me for 10 years, dude, for a decade, and I never booked a role. I mean, she auditioned me for some of the best roles I ever auditioned for, and I never booked anything. So I always thought in the back of my mind, man, I'm really glad that Elizabeth Couillon is a nice person and likes me as an actor and hasn't given up on me, because 10 years of not booking something, you'd think that, you know, somebody wouldn't be calling you back in for another audition. You'd think they'd be like, hey, I think you're a great person, but for a decade I've been trying to get you parts and you haven't booked anything, you know? So I thought it was falling on me like that. And I think a lot of actors feel that sometimes when they go so long without auditioning or auditioning for so long without booking. And I don't know, I see it now as if you do a great job and it matters to you and you show people that it matters to you and you show people that you care, even if the parts aren't for you or you didn't get the part yet, the people that are casting it could possibly still have you in mind for something, you know, or something could come up and they can have you in mind for that, you know. So because that casting director had been auditioning me for a decade, I'm pretty sure that, like, when this role popped up, she thought, hey, you know, these are the actors I have in mind, and I was one of them, you know. So she sent me the audition, and I got the part. And when I got the part, I was like, Carl, why does that sound familiar? And I was a fan of the video games, but I didn't know the folklore, you know. So I went and started learning the folklore like crazy. And sure enough, everyone kept calling the Cupcake Carl. And I was like, what? So I contacted Scott, the guy who made Five Nights at Freddy's. And I said, hey, is Carl the Cupcake? Is that the same person? Because so can I do the cupcake sound effects and stuff? And he was like, well, I love the enthusiasm. He's like, but Carl is actually not the Cupcake. He goes, and I wanted the fans to know that because the fans named the Cupcake Carl, and we can't use that name. He's like, but this is our way of saying, look, Carl and Mr. Cupcake are two different people. Because he wrote Carlton in the comics, and then he took something that tied the comics and the video games together, and he put it on a t-shirt and made my character wear it just to get the point across that this is not the Cupcake. He tried. So I just thought it was so awesome whenever I booked the role. I thought it was so awesome because not only, there was that irony there, but it was so cool that the character had such an important reason to be there. You know, it wasn't just a throwaway character. It was like, oh, I want the fans to see your t-shirt. I want the fans to hear your name and know that the Cupcake is not Carl. You know what I mean? And I thought that was so freaking cool. I think if it wasn't for that, like, I've been in tons of great films that go on to do great things, but the fans don't really gravitate towards characters that are only in the film for a brief moment, you know? But because this character mattered to the fans already, and the Cupcake mattered to the fans and stuff, also, they weren't even going to have a Cupcake eat my face. They thought it was too scary for a PG-13 movie, so they weren't going to do that. And I was like, well, don't have the blood and the gore and the brains, just have it gnawing on my face. And I convinced them, like, I was like, please do that. And the guys from Blumhouse were like, oh, we agree. Yeah, we think they should kept too. A couple days later, they sent me a new script, and they put the scene back in. So that was really cool.
That's awesome. Do you think that person that mocked you about it, do you think she is aware of what you've moved on to, ironically, or no?
I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I have no clue. I mean, in the back room, I don't even really. It's weird, right? Okay, so if you're set or geared on like revenge or spite, your dreams might not come true. You're doing it for a bad reason, you know? So by the point where I booked Five Nights at Freddy's, I'd already forgotten. Like, I had forgotten completely about that disdain or animosity towards me. I forgot about it all. And then whenever I found out that it had something to do with the Cupcake, or whenever I got the audition and it said back Cupcake, and I saw the picture of the Cupcake again and remembered the Cupcake had the space between his teeth, I was like, oh, snap. And then it hit me. So I don't think caring about something like that is good for your soul. I think you should forgive people in the past and just move on, you know? But I do think it's kind of funny and ironic. I really do think it's funny and ironic. And maybe, who knows, maybe at that moment when she said that, maybe it hurt so bad that it made me inside go, I'm going to manifest this happening. You know what I mean? Like, in all of the powers that be, and maybe I prayed for it really, really, really seriously, or maybe God heard that and was like, that is cruel that he made it happen. I don't know. Like, no one knows why things happen, but, you know, it is funny. I guess it is funny. But I just look at it like, I mean, I don't want my legacy to end with Carl, you know, unless there's like if they bring Carl back in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, because all the fans have been begging for that, and like so many fans have hit me up and been like, I really hope you're in the second one, and I'm like, but please just love the first one, love the first movie, because that way, regardless, you'll still like the first movie, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have any animosity towards that person anymore. I'm happy. I got the best family, the best wife and kids, the best house I've ever lived in, the best animals. Right now, today, I'm happier than I've ever been in my entire life. And it wouldn't have happened had not everything I went through happened, you know? So, like, if that person wouldn't have said something mean about me and the Cupcake, maybe it wouldn't have, like, cosmically tied me to the Cupcake somehow. I don't know. But I'm glad it did. And for the rest of my life, that's not something I can ever erase either. For the rest of my life, I will be haunted by this damn Cupcake. Because everywhere we went to Walmart a couple weeks ago, and as soon as we walked to Walmart, somebody walked in, and it was like, hey, and started doing like, I thought they were doing like a giant Pac-Man, but it was a Cupcake. They were mimicking the Cupcake. It was like, oh, okay, cool.
That's pretty cool, man. That's an amazing story you've shared. So that pretty much wrapped things up because you told the whole thing.
Oh, cool.
How can your journey impact the world?
I don't know. I hope that people can hear what I went through, and it'll inspire them to never give up, maybe, you know? If you want to be a Major League Baseball player, you have to go play in front of the scouts, and you have to do a good job when you play in front of the scouts. That's pretty much what this entire entertainment industry is. It's, you know, you perform your art or you draw, or you paint, or you sing, or you act. You perform your art, and you get in front of those scouts. You get in front of people who have jobs, lined up for people like you. And I really do hope that people out there, I hope one day someone comes to me and says, I heard you on the Relentless and Unstoppable podcast, and it made me become an actor, and now I won an Oscar. That'd be cool.
That would be really awesome. Yeah. It's always nice to leave impact on others in good ways, That's what being a champion is. It's not all about trophies.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. So, where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram. I'm all on social media, but if you just search my name, I figure it's funner for people to find me on their own. I do have Instagram, but my name on Instagram is JHP5 with 2 underscores. But it's like JHP5. I don't like having my full name as my screen name on social media because I've got a lot of spam that way. Because if someone finds you on IMDb, you get follows, but then you get bots, you get all this stuff. So I'm trying to keep my social media at a place where, if I'm going to use it at all, it's strictly for me to connect with fans. So, or business, So if I post something, somebody will see it and actually be able to communicate about it. Like, oh, I love this. Oh, that's cool. I'm going to buy that album. Oh, this is awesome. If I had, tons of followers that were bots and stuff, then you look at people's comments and every comment is, come look at my thing, come look at this album, come listen to this, come do this, come watch this. It's not about, that person's art or that profile. It's about spam, So for now, I'm not really trying to get those social media numbers boosted because the stuff that I'm doing and the stuff that I'm in physically in front of people is in front of millions and millions of people. And I've got, people from other countries who can't even use the social media that we have, and they're contacting me and they're, wanting to sell t-shirts with my band on it in their own country. And I have no idea what they're doing. I have no idea what's going on in other countries because they can't use the same social media we use,
Yeah.
So, there needs to be something new. There needs to be a new app that takes us out of this social media age and brings us back into what it felt like to be in the 90s when you would see your favorite bands on TV and you would root for them because that the whole world's watching them together.
Yeah, that would be awesome if we can have one social media app when we can all come together.
Yep. Something like MTV needs to make an app. MTV needs to make an entertainment app that,
Yeah, for sure. So, that's all I have for now, but I thank you for coming on.
Thank you. It was awesome being here.
No problem. So, everybody, please check out Joseph on his Instagram. And if you like this video, please hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on R&U.
Oh, and YouTube, Rice Paper Films.
Sounds good. See you next time on R&U, guys.
Gee, that's all we have for Relentless and Unstoppable. So tune into the next episode to hear more amazing stories from amazing guests. This is Keith Scott from Sydney, Australia saying so long, and I'm smarter than the average bear. Gee.